I'm Jerry Ellsworth. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Till5.
Jerry, what is Tilt5 all about?
So Till5 is tabletop gaming that uses AR glasses, highly optimized for tabletop games and video games. It's holograms popping out of the table.
Why is it AR seem to go in and out of tech trends recently? People went full in on VR. Why do you think AR is taking so long to develop for consumer?
It's taken a long time because it's a really difficult problem to solve. So there's laws of physics that you have to deal with to make it a comfortable experience for the user, wide field of view, all these things that make it a great experience for mass market. What's special about our system is we've solved all those problems. So we've solved what's called vergence accommodation that allows your eyes to focus at all the proper depths, so it's very comfortable to look at. We have wide field of view. We can draw black. That sounds funny, but we're the only AR system that can draw black out there.
So that is interesting, because I've been covering AR since it's been, and the field of view is exactly your point. I put on glasses where it's like a 4x3 square, and if you turn a little bit, you lose everything. How did you solve that problem?
So the clever thing that we did is we actually turned the optics inside out. So instead of trying to put the light directly into your eyes, we actually project a light field out to a special mat that you roll out on your table. It looks very much like a board game, and then all the holograms pop out of it. And so that allows us to have an arbitrary field of view, whatever resolution we want. We can draw black, we can set up a light field so your eyes are comfortable.
Now your glasses are very small for AR tech, and you also have a peripheral. Talk a little about these.
Yeah, we're probably the lightest glasses out there that are this immersive for sure. We're a little bit under 100 grams, 110 degree field of view, 180 frames per second on it. We also have our input device, which is this wand that lets you do 6 degrees of freedom, so you can reach in and poke things and pick things up. And it also works like a game controller too, so you can use it like a regular gamepad. Designed just for gaming.
Like I said, I've been covering AR for a long time, since its inception, and like you guys are demoing stuff here on the show floor instead of a pitch black room. Talk about how people were interacting with your AR for the first time. What's it been like seeing people?
That's a great point. A lot of AR systems, like you can barely compete with like light in a normally lit room. We're here in a trade show with these huge can lights that are just blasting light everywhere. But thanks to the way our optical system works, they're highly efficient. So all the light comes back directly to your eyes, and so you still get a really bright image, high contrast, and it's really the holy grail for AR to have that.
Your glasses do have a cord cable. Is that for power? Does it plug into a PC? I'm going to guess it plugs into a PC.
It plugs into a PC. We just introduced our Android drivers, so now you can plug into your Android phone. So we'll start seeing more Android games. That makes it really low friction, so that when you're playing with your friends around the coffee table in your living room, you can just plug into your phone. Or if you want to have like really great graphics, you can have we can run up to 4 glasses on one PC running in one game. And you just use little USB extenders, and then you're up and playing.
You're on the cutting edge of technology. What's it like seeing as technology develops and new tools are available to you? Does that affect the development of your hardware and software at all?
It's wonderful. I mean, I've been in this space for a long time. I looked at XR way back in the 90s, which everyone was just coding stuff, in a vacuum, trying to make it work. Then I worked at Valve Software 13, 14 years ago, and it was still really early on. We didn't even know how to do some of these tracking techniques, and optics was all new around this space, and it was really rough. Now we have beautiful game engines, like things like tracking are very well known, and we're able to utilize that, and it makes it very easy for our developers. Our SDK is extremely easy. So if you want to make a multiplayer game on our system, you just drag our SDK in, it starts rendering immediately, and you can have up to 4 players without even having to think about it. And if it's a single player game, you can still plug in up to 3 more glasses and spectate and pass controls back and forth, which makes even single player games social. And that is really where we're seeing people being drawn to our system. As soon as you get a couple people around the table, even the simplest games has this kind of meta game over top of it where people are competing or collaborating together. It's one of those things that, back in the olden days, like even board games, like you would gather together and, it was an event in your family and you bonded over it. Video games have been, most games you're stuck single player.
Or online only, yeah. No couch co-op anymore, no interaction.
Yeah, it's so rare to see, couch co-op because it's kind of limited by the displays. And so we solve that smoothly with our system. It just works out of the box. Even if it's a single-player game, it can be collaborative.
In your professional opinion, how far are we from AR reaching a consumer standpoint? I know VR still struggles with this as well.
I think AR is going to come first, actually, because there's some fundamental reasons for that. So VR is wonderful. I love it and everything. You can be completely immersed, but it really has this high friction level to it. You're like removing yourself from the world. You feel vulnerable. Like in our system, though, they have very big lenses. You feel wide open. You see your friend's eyes. You don't feel vulnerable. And it's, very low friction to get into it. And in fact, it's very heartwarming when we hear back from our customers saying things like, well, I took it over to mom and dad's house and we played for a couple hours just drawing with Figment XR, and they had no interest to ever do any kind of video games or XR. And so we're trying to bring content to our system that's not only for the hardcore gamer that wants to just sit there and do a solo experience, but brings the whole family together too. So there's sandbox kind of games where you just do free-form play. There's board games, so you can do something that's very familiar and relatable to a broad audience. And then there's action video games and puzzle games, which appeal to folks that are already acclimated to games.
Now, the hard question is, how much is your SDK?
It's free. That's not a hard question at all. So if you buy one of our systems, you just go to our website, you download it, and you can build a game. Literally, people don't believe me. If you have a game that's existing, you can drag our SDK in. It'll be rendering in 5 minutes. Usually takes longer to load Unity or Unreal than to get it rendering. And then in the SDK, once you have the SDK installed, we have a really cool feature where it has real-time editing. So as you move game objects around, you could be wearing the glasses and you actually see the game objects move. And that's kind of groundbreaking in this space because it shortens the design cycle for XR content. You don't have to build it, put it into a headset and find out you messed it all up and you have to start this long cycle again.
So how much is the hardware to get started?
Oh, that's the great part. So our system is $359 for the base system.
That's amazingly cheap. I'm sorry I had to interrupt you there.
I know, everyone here at GDC is like, oh, you should be charging a lot more for this.
Like, really? $350? Like, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, so you get your base system. It comes with the game board, a wand, and glasses. And the great thing is since it's multiplayer, it's only $300 a pop for extra headsets and wands. So you just keep adding headsets to however many you want, and it's very economical.
Where could people go to find more information about your product and get access to your SDK?
Tilt5.com, you can buy them, and it's really exciting. This is the first month that we've caught up on all of our back demand. We actually have units you can buy today, and it'll be shipped out in a day or two, and you can get them. They've been very popular, so we just had to keep ratcheting up production. We finally kind of figured out how to keep them in stock, which is cool.